Tonight at 5, a tragic discovery in the North Atlantic after crews find debris believed to be part of that missing submersible near the Titanic wreckage site.
Plus, federal aviation officials are now joining the investigation connected to a small plane crash in a Wanakee neighborhood.
And Madison police are investigating after a stray bullet was found where 2 children were sleeping. You're watching News 3 now at 5. Months of heated debate over the state budget coming to an end today.
Republicans in the legislature announced their final plans to fund the UW system and provide billions in tax cuts. Political reporter Will Keneally joins us from the Capitol with the latest. Will?
Well, Eric and Susan, we are right outside the legislature's budget writing committee room as the committee is debating the final parts of the state budget. And it's expected to be the final session of the 2-year budget process. Republicans announced their final details of their spending plan during a news conference earlier today. Up for passage tonight will be a $3.5 billion income tax cut, which would see small cuts for all Wisconsinites, but the highest among the top income earners. Republicans also followed through on a promise to cut $32 million from the UW system budget over diversity, equity, and inclusion efforts.
And I'll be the one to say it, since I'm the only minority at this table. That just shows who the Republicans are.
DEI offices and its programming are deeply embedded on every campus throughout Wisconsin, and they focus on outcomes that clearly sow divisions among our students.
Republicans say they'll keep that $32 million cut on hold. It's something the system could come back to later if they propose a plan that does not invest in DEI. The cuts would also eliminate more than 180 positions across the UW system and theoretically could take effect as early as July 1st, the start of the next fiscal year. Governor Evers has said he would consider vetoing the entire budget with those cuts included, but we have not seen any motion from him yet along those lines. The committee will continue to debate into the night tonight. Again, we'll check back with Will on News 3 now at 6 next hour. A tragic update in the search for a missing submersible this afternoon. The Coast Guard confirming debris found on the ocean floor near the Titanic wreckage was from that missing vessel.
Officials say the sub suffered a catastrophic implosion, killing all 5 people on board. Chris Wynn has the latest from Boston.
The worst fears of many were confirmed in the search for a missing submersible Thursday.
This morning, an ROV, or remote-operated vehicle, from the vessel Horizon Arctic discovered the tail cone of the Titan submersible approximately 1,600 feet from the bow of the Titanic on the seafloor. The ROV subsequently found additional debris. In consultation with experts from within the Unified Command, the debris is consistent with the catastrophic loss of the pressure chamber. Upon this determination, we immediately notified the families.
Lost aboard the missing sub, Stockton Rush, CEO of OceanGate, the company leading the voyage. French researcher Paul-Henri Nargeolet, known as Mr. Titanic, who's been to the wreck more than 36 times. Aviation company chairman and adventure explorer Hamish Harding, and Pakistani businessman Shahzada Dawood and his teenage son Suleiman.
On behalf of the United States Coast Guard and the entire Unified Command, I offer my deepest condolences to the families.
The mission now changes to recovering the Titan and bringing closure to the families and colleagues of those who were aboard. In Boston, I'm Chris Wynn reporting.
In a statement, OceanGate called the men true explorers and said, "Our hearts are with these 5 souls and every member of their families during this tragic time."
And you can read more about this story at channel3000.com. Time now for our forecast. Julian Seawright on the weather patio, he has the very latest. Julian?
Another hot and sunny day for us, but some hazy skies, a little bit of cloud cover is what was on tap throughout much of our Thursday afternoon. Now, getting into the rest of this work week, a reminder, we do have that air quality advisory in effect until Friday at 11 p.m. for all of Wisconsin. Now, the good news is because of that shift in winds, the hazy smoke in itself is really going to start to shift its way a bit more south, but we're still going to be experiencing those hazy skies getting into our Friday. Now, planning out the rest of tonight, we're holding on to those 80s until we get into about the 9 to 10 o'clock hour for us. And we'll start to really cool down once the sun goes down. We're seeing temperatures looking to be into the upper 50s by the time we get into our low heading into the overnight. Otherwise, planning out tomorrow, expect a bit more of the same, but more 90s is on the forecast. Looking around 90 degrees for us here in Madison. Areas to the west, around 88 degrees for Janesville and about 87 for Platteville. Now, our drought monitor was released for today, and you can see even parts of the western side of Dane County and over towards the western side of southern Wisconsin are now under a severe drought for us, whereas the rest of southern Wisconsin is under still a moderate drought. We are hoping that we can at least start to nick at that a little bit as we get into this weekend. So we're tracking a system that could bring in some much needed rain for us here in southern Wisconsin by the time we get to our late Saturday night into our early Sunday morning and throughout much of our Sunday as well, which will also keep temperatures on the cooler side. We'll talk about how much rain we're expecting and the timing in a few moments. Until then, over to you.
All right, Julian, thank you. Madison police are investigating an incident that put 2 children in danger last night on the city's east side.
Police say they found a stray bullet in the bedroom window where the 2 were sleeping. Tahlil Modine joins us now with more on this investigation. Tahlil?
Police say they've not yet identified a suspect, but are receiving surveillance video from neighbors to try and piece things together. The incident happened on the 5200 block of Ridge Oak Drive at about 10:15 Wednesday night. Police say they received multiple reports of shots fired and before arriving on scene learned that a mother and 3 children were home at the time.
Last night was scary. You had a mom who had to tell 2 young children, get on the ground and crawl to a safer spot in that home. So right now we're just really concerned for that family, and we want to, find the person responsible for this.
Police say they are still working to determine a motive, but do believe the shooting was targeted. They're also asking anyone with additional information or video to contact Madison area Crime Stoppers. No arrests have been made at this time, and police are still talking to witnesses. Luckily, nobody was hurt.
Tahlil, thank you. And police are investigating another shooting that injured a man on the city's southwest side. Officers were called to a neighborhood on Allied Drive about 12:30 this morning, and there they found a wounded man in his 20s. He was taken to the hospital and is expected to be okay. Investigators believe the victim and suspect had a fight that led to that shooting. They are still looking for the suspect.
New at 5, federal aviation officials have joined the investigation in connection with a plane crash in a Waunakee neighborhood. 2 people suffered minor injuries after the plane crashed onto Kingston Way. The plane collided with 2 vehicles as it landed. Police say the plane experienced engine trouble shortly after taking off from a nearby airstrip.
The trial date has been set for the former Madison police officer who's facing a disorderly conduct charge. Keith Brown was arrested back in November and charged after Dane County Sheriff's deputies were called to a restaurant in Madison. A woman told deputies Brown had pinned her against a wall and grabbed both of her hands, squeezing her until her hands were cut. A jury status hearing is now scheduled for November 29th.
We're just a few days away from the 1-year anniversary of the Supreme Court decision to overturn Roe v. Wade. Key Democratic leaders gathered at the Wisconsin Capitol today to talk about how this decision has affected Wisconsinites. They also denounced the actions taken by the state's Republicans after the ruling.
What we saw in Dobbs took us backwards 50 years. And what we see now is that government is trying to dictate private health care decisions, which should scare all of us.
They also emphasized the importance of the upcoming 2024 elections. They believe re-electing U.S. Senator Tammy Baldwin is how the Democrats would be able to prevent the passage of a potential federal abortion ban.
6 days out from the Wisconsin legislature's decision to end funding for a pandemic-era child care subsidy program, some are still arguing the move will be devastating for families. Thousands of Wisconsin child care centers use the federal grants to partially offset expenses for things like wages and utilities. Child care workers say that if the Child Care Counts program is ended, There will be increased rates, longer wait times, and closures of child care centers. They believe a lack of funding will be a major hurdle for getting children the care they need.
Even pre-pandemic, we knew that the child care industry was on the precipice of a real collapse. And what the Child Care Counts program did during the pandemic is it gave us a space to test something. And what we found was a dramatic improvement in the stability of centers through the last few years.
With federal funding set to run out by early next year, Governor Evers asked for more than $340 million over the next 2 years to keep the Child Care Counts program going. The Republican-led Joint Finance Committee rejected that request, saying the program would have obligated hundreds of millions of dollars in new spending for what was always intended to be one-time federal relief. There's only about a week left to vote for Best of Madison 2023. You have until the end of the month to vote for your favorite business, people, things to do, and much more. Head to channel3000.com, look for this story on our homepage, and then scroll down to the bottom of the article, and you can click on each category to vote. All you'll need is a valid email address to register and make sure your votes are counted. And don't forget, you can only vote once per category. Next at 5, Julian is back with a complete look at our forecast.
Plus, a local food pantry receives a major donation to help hundreds of families across Dane County. We'll have the details when we come back. And later, a young Wisconsin boy looks to defend his title of having the best mullet in the U.S. His story tonight at 6.
That looks pretty tough to beat. And checking the markets in trading today, the Dow falls less than 5 points in a strong day for the NASDAQ, up more than 128. S&P added more than 16. We'll be right back.
Don't miss Wisconsin's best deals this summer, only at Ashley's multi-million-dollar clearance event. Everything must go. Save up to 84% store-wide, plus special interest financing for 72 months. Only at Ashley.
Get organized with 11% off everything at Menards. Keep your home neat and reduce clutter with help from Dakota. Whether you need extra storage or want to add an accent to your living space, we carry the shelving and closet systems for you. Get Dakota shelving in a variety of finishes to match your style, or maximize your space with customizable Dakota closets. Get this white closet system for just $198.97 after 11% off at Menards.
Save big money at Menards.
Attention, Wisconsin veterans.
I'm Tony Evers, the governor of Wisconsin. If you are a veteran struggling to pay for rent, utilities, or other life-sustaining services, I want you to know that the Veterans Rental Assistance Program is here to help. So call 833-WISC-VRAP or visit VRAPWI.com. You've always been there for us. We want you to know that we're here for you.
The Chevy RS family of SUVs has it all. Whether you want the 10.2-inch diagonal color touchscreen on the Chevy Blazer or extra peace of mind with Chevy Safety Assist standard on the 2023 Chevy family of SUVs. So take your pick. The choice is yours. Spring into adventure and get 1.9% financing on select popular Chevy SUVs when you finance with GM Financial. Plus, make no monthly payments for 90 days. See your Badgerland Chevy dealer today.
Fry Construction is celebrating 28 years with a big anniversary sale. Join us to save 28%. That's right, 28%. Many of your neighbors already know how we strive to meet and exceed expectations with each and every project. That's why they voted us Best Roofer 3 years in a row. Experience the best of Madison for yourself with Fry Construction. Act now for 28% off gutters or insulation with any full roofing project. Schedule your free consultation today at fryconstruction.com.
Don't miss Wisconsin's best appliance deals this summer. Only at Furniture and Appliance Mart's multi-million-dollar clearance event. Everything must go. Save up to 84% off store-wide. Plus special interest financing for 72 months at Furniture and Appliance Mart inside Ashley.
Like that bomb went off.
I'm on the scene of an explosion.
By the next morning, it had gone out of my account. Scammers have new tricks up their sleeve all the time.
I'm terrified to see his name again next to another little girl's name because nobody listens.
I'm feeling stressed looking over your shoulder.
You're watching News 3 Now at 5.
A new report reveals some alarming findings about pedestrian safety in the U.S. Fatalities are on the rise. The Governor's Highway Safety Association says last year, drivers struck and killed more than 7,500 people walking. That's the most in 41 years. The report also found a majority of pedestrian fatalities over the past few years have happened at night.
Many parts of the country lack adequate infrastructure, even simple things like sidewalk and lightings that can help pedestrians. Our vehicles are getting larger and heavier, and that poses a greater danger for people on foot.
Experts recommend several ways to reverse the trend, including designing safer roadways and community engagement with vulnerable populations. They say educating drivers about their responsibility to yield to pedestrians would make the biggest impact of all.
A bill that would give the president more power to prepare for the next pandemic is being introduced to Congress today. The new legislation targets issues that came to light during the COVID-19 pandemic, mainly U.S. supply chain issues that caused that frantic scramble for masks, respirators, and other personal protective gear. The bipartisan bill would empower the White House to negotiate trade deals on medical goods and services with America's trusted trade partners. The U.S. could have its first RSV vaccine for older Americans by this fall. This week, an advisory committee for the CDC voted in favor of allowing adults 60 and older to get the RSV vaccine. Now, the CDC still has to make a final decision. The agency is looking at 2 vaccines, which have already been approved by the Food and Drug Administration. During Wednesday's meeting, some committee members raised concerns about the price of the shots, as well as the lack of data for people over the age of 75.
A tornado ripped through a northern Texas town overnight, killing 4 people and injuring at least 9 others. Jason Allen takes us to the community where people are just beginning to pick up the pieces.
The deadly twister absolutely shredded parts of Matador, Texas. Homes and businesses are flattened, tractor trailers are flipped over, and in one area, an American flag is just about the only thing still standing.
It's devastating for the whole community. I mean, we need prayers for lots of people lost their homes.
The entire town of about 600 people is without power. Crews are working to get it back as quickly as possible.
Hopefully, if everything goes smoothly, hopefully Friday evening, Saturday.
The mayor told us 2 of the people who were killed were in a trailer back here that's not here anymore. There used to be a beauty shop that was standing right over here. Officials have accounted for all the local residents now, but they still searched this area today just to make sure the storm didn't hit anyone who was passing through.
Look at that tornado right there.
It happened around 8 o'clock Wednesday night with the powerful storm tearing roofs from buildings. Room after room of this motel is now visible from above.
The amount of damage that they experience, it's not only physical damage, but the economical and emotional impact that it will have on this town is very well significant.
The severe weather stretched to Colorado, where cleanup is underway at the Red Rocks Amphitheater near Denver. Golf ball-size hail sent music fans rushing for cover during a concert Wednesday night. Nearly 100 people were injured. Back in Texas, forecasters say more thunderstorms are likely, but they say the risk of more tornadoes has diminished. Jason Allen, CBS News, Matador, Texas.
Boy, rough start to the summer there. Let's get a check on our forecast. Here's Julian Seawright.
Well, the dry and heat continues for us, but at least we get a couple of clouds outside for us here in southern Wisconsin, especially for Madison. So let's go ahead and take a look at what we have for the rest of the week. Take a look at our headlines. Well, folks, we're going to be anticipating to start to see some showers and thunderstorms heading into the back end of our weekend. But until then, it is going to be hot, it's going to be dry, and on top of it, we're not going to be seeing that change until we get into that Saturday night for us. And then heading into Sunday, we're looking for some scattered rain and potentially even some thunderstorms for us here in Madison and, of course, for Wisconsin in itself as well. Now, getting into what else we have, well, that air quality advisory is once again still sticking around until 11 p.m. getting into our Friday for all of Wisconsin. Now, in terms of how hazy the skies are going to be, the thick smoke in itself is going to start to drift its way a bit more south into the eastern side. So we're still going to see a little bit of the hazy skies. They're just not going to be as potent as they have been over the last couple, or for today. Now, taking a look at what we have for our surface pattern. Well, as you can see just south where Texas is, that had seen that severe weather, they're still seeing significant heat from that heat dome, which we also call the ring of fire, which is really the fuel for any kind of severe storms that could produce really strong and dangerous storms for those areas. For us, we're going to finally start to see that ridging action start to drop just a bit. And as it does, we will start to see a bit of some cooler air, and on top of it, potentially even some rainfall for us, which we desperately need, especially for us here in southern Wisconsin. Areas just to the west and a bit north of Dane County are now under a severe drought as of right now. Many of us are still within the moderates, but nevertheless, especially the further west that you are, it's where we've seen more of that dry air and plenty of that heat, which has really caused that severe drought for us as of right now. So any kind of small relief, it's not going to be enough, but it's a little bit, and a little bit always helps, will be coming this weekend. So as we get into Saturday night into our early Sunday morning, we're looking for our first wave to start to see potentially some rainfall throughout much of southern Wisconsin. As we get into our Sunday afternoon, Sunday evening, we're going to be anticipating to see a bit more widespread rain, and that could even carry into our Monday, which will be on and off, but nevertheless would be cooler, and on top of it, bringing in a more rainfall for us here in southern Wisconsin, which could be bouncing back from a quarter to a half to even a 3/4 of an inch. Some areas could see more. But southwest, Platteville and Mineral Point, as that system continues to shift its way a bit more east, by the time we get into our Monday, we're not anticipating for much in terms of rainfall for those areas. Now, take a look at our 10-day forecast. We're going to be seeing those temperatures stay into the 90s until we get into Sunday, where we'll start to cool off just a bit more. More seasonable weather will be for next week. We're into the lower 80s, but we are watching for another system that could bring in a bit of some rain for the back end of the next work week. So that's your first one. As right now, we could see some more rain on the way. Now, taking a quick look at our traffic, well, as of right now, over towards the interstate of 51, things are still on the slower side, but right now, eastbound on the belt line is where we're seeing our real big slow spots and our delays. So just be prepared if you're going to be traveling east for some slow spots as you get closer to Monona Drive. That's going to do it for our weather and traffic. Over to you.
Julian, thank you. Way Forward Resources, formerly known as Middleton Outreach Ministry, received a large donation from Metro Market and Pick and Save today that'll help families in need across Dane County. The grocery chains donated $30,000 worth of food to the organization's food pantry. Way Forward promotes food security and food access to residents and serves more than 5,000 people a year. Organizers say there's been a significant increase in demand over the past few years, caused by a number of factors.
As our food share dollars have really decreased for people once those emergency pandemic benefits ended, that, I think, combined with, our rents have risen and risen and risen over the last few years, and then you add on top of that the cost of food at the grocery store. I think, budgets get squeezed and squeezed and squeezed, and a lot of times it's, those basic bills and basic needs that people really need help with.
The food pantry has been serving the equivalent of more than 90,000 meals a month, a 130% increase from last year. Coming up, why the Federal Trade Commission is suing Amazon. The details after a short break.
News 3 Now First Warn Weather is brought to you by Lazy Boy Home Furnishings and Decor.
Discover a shopping and design experience as comfortable as the furniture. Lazy Boy Home Furnishings and Decor. Schedule your free design consultation today.
Announcing Madison Magazine's Best of Madison Readers Poll for 2023. Vote for the Best of Madison online today, including Fifth Quarter Bar and Grill for Best Sports Bar. Vote today for Fifth Quarter Bar and Grill and all your favorites on MadisonMagazine.com.
Are you sure about this?
I got this. I watched the video online.
I'm good. I'm good. Oof, I can't help you with that bruised ego, but I can help you replace this roof safely.
Let the experts at Felco do the heavy lifting this summer with 30% off roofing and siding. Plus, no interest until 2025.
30% off roofing and siding ends soon. Hurry. Call now.
Call 866 for Felco.
Moderate to severe eczema still disrupts my skin. Despite treatment, it disrupts my skin with itch. It disrupts my skin with rash. But now, I can disrupt eczema with Rinvoq. Rinvoq is not a steroid, topical, or injection. It's one pill once a day. Many taking Rinvoq saw clear or almost clear skin, while some saw up to 100% clear skin. And they felt dramatic and fast itch relief, some as early as 2 days. That's Rinvoq Relief.
Rinvoq can lower your ability to fight infections, including TB, serious infections and blood clots, some fatal, cancers, including lymphoma and skin cancer. Death, heart attack, stroke, and tears in the stomach or intestines occurred. People 50 and older with at least one heart disease risk factor have higher risks. Don't take if allergic to Rinvoq, as serious reactions can occur. Tell your doctor if you are or may become pregnant.
Disrupt the itch and rash of eczema. Talk to your doctor about Rinvoq.
Learn how AbbVie can help you save.
At Lawton Cates, we're all about comebacks. Whether it's helping you recover after an accident or return to the job following an injury, we fight the odds and the insurance company for our clients every day. Your life counts. Lawton Cates.
Trust your feet to Morgan's shoes.
Birkenstock ushers in a new collection with clean lines, easier than ever closures, and the most necessary footbed in your closet. Slide into Morgan's shoes and shop our new Birkenstock arrivals. See what's fresh for spring and summer. Birkenstock platforms and wedges, cork-powered sneakers, or up your game with our iconic men's and women's sandals.
Comfort with style. Trust your feet to Morgan Shoes.
Morgan Shoes, Hilldale.
Lean back and enjoy the summer savings at the Century House. Right now, get a $100 instant rebate for every $1,000 you spend on any qualifying stressless seating. The more you spend, the more you can save instantly. So furnish an entire room with the most comfortable seating in the world and watch the savings add up. Shop the Century House, 3420 University Avenue in Madison.
You're watching News 3 Now at 5.
The Federal Trade Commission is suing Amazon for what's described as tricking millions of customers into signing up for Amazon Prime.
What could the suit mean for other tech platforms that make it challenging for consumers to unsubscribe? Karen Kafa explains.
The FTC alleges Amazon tricked millions of customers into enrolling in automatically renewing Prime memberships and created a cancellation process the FTC describes as labyrinthine.
The FTC is saying that the tactics that Amazon is using to get people to enroll in Prime and the sort of challenges they put in front of consumers who want to cancel their Prime subscription amounts to an unfair, deceptive practice under the law.
The FTC lawsuit filed in a federal court in Seattle Wednesday also alleges Amazon buried key details about recurring billing in fine print and takes aim at its use of so-called dark patterns, elements used by many retailers to drive consumers to take certain actions.
For example, it could be a ticking time clock that you see at the top of your screen when you're going to buy an event ticket. That makes you want to rush through the process before you have a chance to read all the fine print.
In a statement, Amazon called the FTC's claims false on the facts and the law. The FTC in March proposed new rules to make it easier to cancel free trials and unwanted subscriptions ranging from cable services to gym memberships. Until any new rules are in place, consumers should keep close tabs on their signups.
Become familiar with the cancellation process before your term of the trial is up, for example, or even before the subscription service is going to renew.
In Washington, I'm Karen Kafa.
Amazon also said, quote, by design, we make it clear and simple for customers to both sign up for or cancel their Prime membership.
Let's stay with us. We'll be back with a final check of your First Warn forecast.
Get over 50% off on this sofa chaise right now at the 4th of July blowout at Slumberland Furniture. Everything's on sale. Incredible deals. Up to 60% off list throughout the store and up to 70% off on clearance items. What a sale. The 4th of July blowout at Slumberland Furniture.
George uses AT&T. Anthony has Spectrum One. With AT&T, George pays $55 for internet and $75 for his unlimited extra mobile line.
Plus monthly fees. Ouch.
With Spectrum One, Anthony gets internet, advanced Wi-Fi, and mobile for $49.99 a month. Go to spectrum.com/save more to see how much you can save. Get Spectrum internet for only $49.99 a month, plus free advanced Wi-Fi and a free unlimited mobile line. Visit spectrum.com/save more or call 833-714-4999 today.
So, all of us are here to talk about trading. Right now at US Cellular, you can get a new phone without having to trade in your old one.
I'll trade you my PB&J for that phone.
No, kid, you don't have to trade. See, $1,200 off any phone at US Cellular. No trade-in needed.
You drive a hard bargain. Boom. Chocolate milk.
You don't have to trade.
I'll take the chocolate milk.
Okay.
Get $1,200 off any phone. No trade-in needed. US Cellular, built for us.
Don't wait until the weekend to enjoy a thick charbroiled steak made to your liking. Make a weeknight steak night at High Point Steakhouse, Southern Wisconsin's premier supper club. Well worth the short drive to Ridgeway.
At Honda, we offer complimentary maintenance for 2 years or 24,000 miles. Just enjoy the ride, knowing we cover routine items like oil changes, tire rotations, and multi-point inspections. Honda Service Pass, available to purchasers of all 2023 Honda vehicles. Get yours today.
There's nothing better than a great night's sleep on a new Tempur-Pedic mattress from Steinhafels. The new Tempur-Pedic Breeze is made with a one-of-a-kind cooling technology, pulling heat away from your body, keeping you up to 10 degrees cooler, allowing for a better night's sleep. Right now, Tempur-Pedic Queen mattresses start at only $96 per month. Plus, you get $300 in Steinhafels cash. Steinhafels, your mattress destination. Shop in-store or online.
We've got a lot of news coming up. Sales of e-cigarettes still remain high, even as the FDA is cracking down. Tonight, how children are being exposed and poisoned by the nicotine products. That's coming up on the CBS Evening News.
And Julian's back. Final check.
Well, we're going to be seeing over the next couple of days some of the hottest days for us so far. Lower 90s into the lower around 93 degrees as we get into Saturday. We are expecting to start to see some showers and even potentially thunderstorms for Sunday. More showers for Monday for us here in Madison. And then throughout the rest of the week, we could potentially see even more rain by the time we get into the back end of next work week, which is any bit helps at this point.
That's right. All right, Julian, thank you. Thanks for joining us. We're back in 30 minutes with News 3 Now at 6. Stay tuned now for the CBS Evening News.